Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud, and I interview industry changers from across the globe about their past, present, and futures in business, innovation, and life. I enjoy helping people build their portfolios and bring out the authenticity of their business. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Wow, I have a special treat for you today. I am not interviewing nobody, but y'all, I know the audience out there want to know who is Kimberly Cloud and where she stemmed from. Okay, I can tell you all that, and I want y'all to listen hard and understand the triumphs that the situations that I overcame. So it all started probably around the age of 6. I always knew I wanted to do something different. Me and my sister used to always talk about, dreaming to be a millionaire or a billionaire. We didn't know about trillionaire back in the day. Now I know about Googleplex, and Googleplex is the last numeric number after all the millionaire in billions. So, yeah, getting back to the point, I started going at age 12 to different restaurants at 12. And they were like laughing at me, talking about come back when you're 15 with a work permit. And I stemmed from Washington, D.C. It all started in Washington, D.C. And we moved to North Carolina. So at 6, it was Charlotte, North Carolina. So to get back to the point, 12, they told me to come back with a work permit. And that's what I did. I was homeschooled and I got a work permit. Okay. So then I ended up working at the Winn-Dixie, the great old Winn-Dixie, where I was a bagger and shop backer, where I was able to put shop bags back in the aisles that they came from. So then after that, I didn't decide nothing. My mother expired early. She had 4th stage colon cancer, which was terrible for me because we were very close. She tried to homeschool me. I did go to Billingsville Elementary. I did. And she had to fight and advocate for us to be in good schools, which was typical for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg system in North Carolina. I miss Charlotte-Mecklenburg. It is such a beautiful city. And so the Queen City. So after she expired, I went up to Washington, D.C., back up to Washington, D.C., where I was from. And what happened after that was I got admitted into Oxon Hill High School. I was so happy. I was like, okay, I took the test. We had to take a test to get me in high school. And what I learned was I knew 12th grade information, 9th grade information, and 10th grade. So they put me in the 10th grade, and they said if I took 7 classes that for the year, I can catch up with my graduation date, which was 2002. So I did that. I sat up there and I took those classes. I don't remember them all. One was Spanish, one was English 2, Algebra 2. I made sure I talked to the teachers, but it was hard because this was a school that people didn't want to learn. It was over 2,000 people at that school that, you had people that act up and did crazy things, but I always wanted to learn. I love sitting down learning something. I absorb, what I learned. So after that happened, May 2002, I walked across the stage. It was the wonderful pleasure center that I ever experienced. I was so happy. My feet hurt. We were in the FedEx building in a part of Maryland. I forgot Largo, Maryland. And after that happened, between that time, I decided I was on delayed entry to get into the military. So that means that I was delayed and I had to wait like 6 months until I turned a certain age to get into their program, the Army. So after that happened, I was just waiting. And I went to MEPS. Let me tell you about MEPS. It is so crazy. I went in there, they said squat, they said listen to this instrument, they said walk like a duck, talk like a duck. I was like, what? So it was interesting, but I understand why they did it. They have to make sure you're strong enough to enter the service. So after I did that, I got admitted, and then came basic. I was so excited. Now, we didn't get the traditional greeting like everybody else did. Like when we got off the bus, it wasn't drill sergeants yelling at us, and cussing at us. It was just we got off, we went to the cafeteria where it was a whole smorgasbord of food, but you know, proceed with caution if you get caught as a soldier eating like 3-layer white cakes with coconut. It was just beautiful and it tasted so wonderful. They would cuss you out and say, well, you're chubby and this, that, and the third. Mental games to try to get you to discourage you from eating like no like high calorie ended food. So the initial basic training happened when I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine when you have a duffel bag on the front of you that weighed 45 pounds, your rucksack on the back of you that weighed like maybe 50 pounds, and 2 black bags that weighed 35 pounds to 28 pounds or 28 to 35 pounds each. And they're running you 2 miles to the place where you're going to be residing for the 2 weeks that you're there. And you're running, you're not thinking about what's going on. You hear them yelling at you and you're just running and running and running. And so the whole time I'm like a Gomer Powell. I'm just laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. What are they doing to us? And before then, let's kind of rewind. Before then, I didn't think I can do a push up in a whole coat, in a BDU coat, but they made sure we got smoked every day. And smoking means half right face, and you get on the front lean and rest, which is, your shoulders, your hands on the ground, and you're doing push-ups, like extended push-ups. I had no problem with doing push-ups and sit-ups. It was only the run. So we get in there and we're doing good things, and I cried when I left. All the women, the men, drill sergeants, they were my heart. They treated me like it was like family. When you get them mad, it was half right face, and everybody had to turn. Everybody used to get mad when somebody messed it up for everybody else. So getting to the point, after I graduated, I sat up there and I moved. I went back to Fort Washington for a second because I was getting ready to deploy to Korea. And I had a extended time with my family, and then it came to going to Korea. Camp Castle near Camp Casey. It was beautiful. Oh my God. Now, I have to admit to the Koreans out there, when you first get off the plane, it had an odor to it. It had a certain odor, like a gassy odor, because it's more condensed there with their air quality. And so I was like, what is this smell? I'm just 18, all of 18. And so I had a great, okay unit. And I was rebelling because I didn't have the proper, support, but I stood in there. I ended up, and I had fun. Don't get me wrong. I had fun, and I had fun with my unit. We were the first people in Korea, or many people watched the show with the Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake show. When that happened, I got to see that all the way from Korea. Imagine that. So moving on, after I ended up getting pregnant, I moved back from Korea to good old Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I had a blast in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That's where I met my first husband. We were communicating. First, I met my husband actually initially in basic, and he got recycled because of his behavior. But I met him again in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And, before I met him, I was doing good, trying to do the right things. And it gets a little sticky. And I'm just going to say I did some wrong things and I did some good things. But let's get to the part where I got a other than honorable. Now, pause there for a second. I wrote the Army Review Board because I was being mistreated. But guess what? They looked at my case and they knew it was true. So they gave me not a general, not kept the other than honorable, but an honorable. They gave me an honorable. because I fought for it. And I am forever indebted with the Army Review Board because I worked hard and it was just always just heavy weight on me. And so moving on, after I got out Fort Campbell, we moved to Hawaii. I got married and we moved to Hawaii. When we were in Hawaii, we were in Oahu. I got to go to the first restaurant that all the stars go to downtown. Then my husband got deployed and I began to work out every day. I was taking care of my child every day. I never missed a beat. I took him to Makiki Bay and got to meet my great old friend. If you're out there, Jamar, I apologize. My great old friend, Jamar Belly, who works for the Secret Service for Kamala Harris. And he is an amazing person. He was in Makiki Bay as a Marine. He was a sergeant, I believe, and we got to communicate. And after we moved from Hawaii, something tragic happened. And I'd rather not discuss that, but then I moved to good old Baltimore, and that's where things started getting better for me. Things started getting a little better because the day I hit the plane, like the plane ride came to a halt and I ended up in Baltimore, I walked at night, which is very, very dangerous, y'all. I suggest you not do it. Downtown Baltimore, near the VA. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, I know what that's look like. Yes, I walked downtown with a bag and I forgot where I ended up, but I'll say this. I ended up at a place called McVet. This is how my journey began. I ended up in a place called McVet. And this place is called Maryland Center for Veterans and Education Training. It's a military shelter for veterans. And I met a couple of good people there. And that's where I met my second husband. So I graduated the program with success. And I got some funny stories to tell you too, just to let you know where I've been and what I plan on doing for the future. So it goes like this. I graduated from the program and I got my own place. Don't laugh, y'all. I know y'all will. And so I got my own place, and I have to extend this part because it's so hilarious. So I was cleaning it, and this was my first place, and we had a rat-infested environment in Baltimore. It doesn't matter if you stayed in a good neighborhood, downtown, everywhere. It was a rat problem, and people were complaining about it. What do we do about the rats? So I'm sitting up there cleaning up my house as usual. And I sat up there and I kept seeing little pellets. I didn't know what they were. I kept seeing little pellets I ended up moving, but I kept seeing little pellets. And I'm like, what is this? But I kept cleaning them up. So I was like, okay. And I was in Baltimore City Community College. I would rain, sleet, or snow. I would be at the college learning. And I got my degree, my associate's degree in human services. So to get back to the point, during this time, one day I was asleep. And I woke up to a rattling sound and I just jumped up because something jumped on my bed and it looked like Master Splinter. And I said, what? I jumped up and I hit the floor. I slipped and hit the floor. I called my landlord immediately. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? He was like, it's not a rat problem. It's a field mice problem. I said, that was a rat. But to get case in point, we moved. We moved to Reisterstown Square Apartments, and it was way much better. And that's where I graduated. I graduated with honors and many other graduation stuff. And I had nothing but A's and B's in the classes. And I got to learn about Sigmund Freud. I got to learn about so many good people. And so after I graduated, I skipped a grade and went to Coppin State University, where it took me a year to graduate. I said, I'm going to do this for a year. I take accelerated classes because I don't like, it was traditional 16-week, but I got tired of taking 16-week courses. So I like 8-week courses all crammed into one. Then I went to Coursera and I earned a certificate in conflict resolution and so many others. So if you're out there and you just want a certificate in something, go to Coursera. If you have a low income, you can prove that you have a low income. They will accept you, just like a traditional college, but they will accept you and you will be able to get a certificate in something. And that's what I did. I always push. So now I won I didn't win. I won my case against the Army, and they gave me $300,000 back from the military. I was so happy. You don't know, I was doing the Michael Jackson dances I didn't even know I could do. And we moved, me and my second husband, to Mountaintop, PA. When we moved to Mountaintop, PA, we were able to get this large house. It was a large white house. It looked like the White House, actually. It was so big, 4-bedroom, 3 baths, basement, and it had deer, it had black bear. You can catch a black bear walking across it. It had at least an acre worth of land that people did not like mowing the lawn with. And, I always used to see the deer. It was so country out there. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. No spider problem, no nothing. I loved it. And so I got to meet a great man. His name was Marty Kaiser. Marty Kaiser, he used to build technology, some of the technology that we have today, to the FBI, CIA, police, and the police like, what? Yes. He used to build technology, and he was the one that they made enemy of the state about. And so he's an older man. He did a lot. His wife was with him. My husband was mowing the lawn, and something gravitated me to him. I said, how are you doing, sir? He's like, I'm doing fine. He said, do you know who I am? I said, no. He was like, my name is Marty Kaiser. I was like, okay. He was like, I'm the one they made enemy of the state about. And I was like, I was 10 years old. I was flabbergasted. I was like, I was 10 years old when I watched that movie. And he was like, yeah, check it out. And it's called Odyssey of an Eavesdropper, about Marty Kaiser. And he sold eavesdropping devices to help us fight wars and everything. But it was a little hiccup along the road. But I don't want to get into that part. But I wanted to always have tea with Marty Kaiser, and I hate that I didn't get to have a full conversation with him. It was basically high and by and brief, maybe 5-minute conversations with him, and I hated that. So to get to the point, again, we moved. I moved. We ended up splitting up, me and my second husband, due to other reasons I don't want to get into. But I'll tell you this. I ended up driving to Bethlehem, PA, because I was in the Napa area. Oh, yeah. Forgot to tell you this. I used to have a business called Blue Cloud Cleaning, LLC. And that business was grossing $100,000 a year. Then I was making other money behind that. And I had 3 employees. But I'll leave it there. I moved to Bethlehem. And in Bethlehem, I was able to, I was trying to grow. And I met this wonderful white woman. She had tattooed angel wings behind her back. Weird things started happening. She had angel wings behind, like tattooed to the T. Short Caucasian woman. And we would talk all the time. And she taught me numbers, like A equal 1, B equal 2. But I don't want to get into that. But she taught me a lot of stuff. And if you're out there listening, I appreciate you. I forgot her name. So anyway, I moved to Philly, and it was crazy. It was beautiful. I got to go get some T-shirts for me. I met a lot of good photographers, such as Demont Reese and Art Chick in Philly. Now, these are major people. Like Demont Reese, he did pictures for Barack Obama and the Pope and many more, Neo. And Art Chick did a lot of good photos for big players, key players, innovators, entrepreneurs. So to get to the point after that, after I went to Philadelphia, I decided, you know what? I think California would be good for me. So I said, I want to move across the United States to Cali, because I called the VA, and the VA said, I accept you. Just come on in and you do your thing. So I took a plane all the way to LA, and it was beautiful, man. I love planes. I love the heart of LA. You know, it's beautiful. I stayed at a great hotel and got to see the view of the airport and everything. And then I went to the VA, and they helped me. I had a little hiccup in Santa Maria, but I ended up with the Chamber of Commerce, Santa Maria Chamber of Commerce. I ended up getting my own car, my own apartment, and we had a convention where I bought some materials to sell my business, and I got to clean up for some great people. Like one guy I got to clean up for, he was working for Vandenberg. I used to go to Vandenberg Space Force all the time, and he used to tell me that, hey, look, I built stealth technology. I said, what is stealth technology? He was like, well, and he had this big poster of himself. He said, stealth technology at Vandenberg is like invisible technology. I was like, what? I got to clean for some great people. And so after Santa Maria, I decided I wanted to go to the UK, but I needed a passport first. And before that, actually, let's pause for a second. I went to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, I had my own apartment and own car. I missed them two things. It was beautiful. And it's beautiful out in Salt Lake. The major roads are so long, like 10 miles to a mile. The one light to the next is beautiful. And the sunsets, the mountains, like here, you got different mountain views and they're beautiful. You can never take that out of somebody's memory, the beauty of the Rocky Mountains in Denver, Colorado, where I went, the red Rocky Mountains. And so Salt Lake was pretty cool, and then I left and went to Denver to initially get the passport to move to the UK. But something happened, a hiccup, and then I moved back to, I moved to Washington State to get to Ketchikan, Alaska, because of issues that were going on with me. And I ended up in Ketchikan, Alaska, y'all. Oh my God, I have like 9 minutes. I apologize. We're going to say this real quick. In Ketchikan, Alaska, it's a beautiful place. It's the first city of Alaska. And I got to see the boats. I went to the Coast Guard. I went everywhere. And it was a beautiful place. And so from Ketchikan, I went back to Washington State. I made some mistakes by staying at places I shouldn't have stayed at, which led to my downfall. But now what I am doing, I have my own place. I have my own car. I have my own business, and it's doing well. It's doing well. And I love to talk to you guys like I am, just sitting here with you guys because I overcame a lot and I've learned a lot. I appreciate the values that I learned. I appreciate everything else that I've learned along the way. Getting my bachelor's, going for my master's in business administration, going for my doctorates after my master's, waiting a year in business, just doing things that I want to teach. I want to get an app. I want to do a TEDx speak. I want to just do good things. And you can follow my footsteps too. All you have to do is learn from your mistakes. That's the only advice I can give you out there. Learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat the same mistake. Once you learn from a mistake, learn the lesson and move on. So now what I'm doing, and I won't speak in detail, is like I said, I have my own business, the Kimberly Cloud Show. I have some wonderful people backing me up, such as KKNW Radio. I love these guys. They are polite, they are nice, and they're real. Then I have I'm expiring my contract with KCAA, but they're wonderful people as well. And I was on BBS. Thank you, Donald Newsom. You're awesome. And I just want to explore. And I'm running. I'm running for state senate, but I won't speak no more about it. But only reason why I'm doing these things is I want to help the community of Seattle succeed with better values, better things that's going on. And I don't want to talk too much about it until next week if I can, but it's okay. I just wanted to say I love you guys, and I appreciate. I got a review from a gentleman out there. He said he loved my show speaking about the AI tech. No, it was alcohol. It was a man that came on about alcohol. His son died from an overdose, and he expired early, and now he's advocating for that situation. He walked to 2 different states. I can't remember which one, but he walked from one state to another, like thousands of miles, slept for hours, and then walked again. So all I'm saying is I don't remember everybody's name, but I remember the emotion and the intellect that I put into interviewing them. Now, my goals for the future, even if I don't win, I'm going to advocate for every woman out there, every man out there that is going through something, whether they're going through something or not. I'm advocating for them. I'm helping them. I go to stores, homeless say, can you buy me some Cheetos? I'm like, I'm down. I go inside the store, I buy the Cheetos, give it to them, say peace. I roll out. No more conversation about that. But, I met a guy that was he's on a set income, and he's going through a lot, and I want to help those people. I want to be able to be that person to help individuals succeed, that is want to get out the chain, break the chain. It's a cycle. We have to break the chain, whether white, black, or Hispanic. We have to break that chain. I'm willing to, if you ever want to reach me at any extent, you can reach me if you want to be interviewed, you reach me. The Kimberly Cloud Show at yahoo.com. And thank you, Nathan, for giving me that cue. Amazing guy. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. And I will see y'all another time. Bye.